We've got some difficult days ahead, but it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place, but I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain.
What up, YouTube? Here's another video. Here's my quote for this video. There is always a message in the way a person treats you. The way a person treats you. And here's my view of that very quickly, especially for this wonderful season I'm in. Is not who treats me, is how I treat myself. I'm viewing the way I treat myself now. And I think anyone watching this should view it the same way. How do we treat ourselves? And I've been, 2022 has shown me that I haven't viewed myself how people view me. And I'll give an example. Simple, small example. I've been probably, I want to say like every month of last year, it seems like I ran into someone who believed in me more than I believed in me. And I mean that when it came to YouTube. I mean that when it came to being a husband. I mean that when it became the experience that I've had in my life, and the wisdom or the knowledge that I gained from it. I've been sitting last year, now that I'm thinking about it, I've met a lot of wonderful new people that are in my life now. I didn't view myself how they view me. Like I walk in the room, for example, and I have this maybe insecurity about, they don't know I struggled in school, so let me try to cover that up when I talk to sound intelligent. Just being polite to a wonderful lady at, I remember this story, it just came to me at Chick-fil-A. This was a while ago, and she just started talking to me honestly about my shoes. I wear these bright shoes for my for my walking. And she just started talking to me about her shoes. And after we were done just exchanging pleasantries, she was like, "You're a good person." And that kind of was like, I was like, "Thank you, you too." So it took me off guard, but it sounds like, and it felt like the universe was speaking to me and telling me to view myself and treat myself better than I have been in the past. So that's what I'm gonna focus on. I'm gonna focus on me. I'm gonna focus on growing to be a better version of myself. How I treated myself was honestly just based off past experience or my past perception of what it was I thought about myself. And all those things now, being in the new year, and I look back and I always write anyway, but I every year I put something in my calendar, far out, maybe the next year. I believe my calendar it's in April. I leave myself something to say, are you closer to that goal? And every January, at least for the past 15, 20 years, I don't know, I write how my year is going to look. Basically what I mean by that is I project and saying, oh, I had a great year this year for 2023. I just kind of put those things out there. And when I remember and when it comes back to me, I go back and read it just to remind myself of, my goals, because a lot of times life happens to all of us and we kind of forget our goals or what we set out for. We didn't stay committed to our commitment. So for me, it's this new season is, treat myself better, view myself better, and see what people see. Some people can be, they can see you in a certain way, maybe from your past that they known you, or like I said, you meet someone and they're saying things to me that I never perceived myself to be. So it wasn't like and let me say this, I was striving to be who they see. I just didn't know I was there. I was pushing every day to focus on being this, and this, and this. And I just didn't know I arrived at it. So now that I arrived, that's what my mind is saying, I've arrived. Now start acting that way. Start creating from that place instead of a scarcity mindset. And it wasn't like I was afraid and scared to do things. It was those things that we have, that I have taught myself, or the same, pattern of thinking that I realized. Like, I'll give one more example about a pattern of thinking that I had. I would always have these moments where, as far as back as I can remember, I would have these moments of me like going through challenging situations and getting out of them. I'm talking about, whether I'm stuck in the woods, I'm lost in the woods, climbing a mountain. I would create these big things, and I would coach myself through them. Like, yes, what you're gonna do, and no, I would just coach myself through them. I don't want to try to confuse anybody with breaking it all down, and I realized maybe a couple weeks ago that I've been doing that for so long. I've always put myself in a challenging situation mentally and then say, you can get through anything. Right now, I could say I'm working on creating where I'm already arrived at the destination. I've always looked and fought through the journey. Like, the journey is climbing this particular mountain. I want to climb Mount Everest, and I love watching the documentaries about it, and people have done it, and the stories, and how it's done. And I just love that stuff. So I'll create my own just for a challenge in my life, just to give myself something. And now in this season, I can't say I have the complete answer, but I'm going to put myself at the top of the mountain and celebrate and enjoy the top of the mountain. And I've realized I've never put myself at the end of the journey. I've always put myself in the journey, fighting to make myself better. And that was a huge epiphany for me. That was a huge example that opened my mind. Treat yourself better. It's not that I was wrong for creating that path to the top of Mount Everest. I never pictured looking down and admiring and enjoying and loving the feat that I just, accomplished. I never thought about that. And I was talking to Toya about it, and she looked at me and she basically confirmed, like, yeah, you do think like that. So I'm gonna work on changing it. And when I say work, this is an everyday process. So little things that I've done, I've got my phone out. I have a note section, and I give myself the mantras of the now, and I think I've made videos about the now, about being in the present, and just me speaking that, obviously, I believe it just revealed that part to me, is where I struggle. I like the struggle. I enjoy the process of struggle. And yeah, I know that's just something that, that I've learned. It was just good for me. It taught me a lot of resilience, because I created my own struggles, and in my reality, I had my own struggles. But now it's time for me to see myself on top of that mountain, treat myself as an overcomer, treat myself as a creator, a manifester. All the things that I say is now just being in that space, and seeing and allowing those things to manifest, and not trying to fight those things back, in the sense of, now I do feel more comfortable creating a path to the top of the mountain. But it's like, I was watching a video, everybody folds their arms a certain way, and then you fold it the other way, and it feels uncomfortable. And I do that in my life right now, just to make sure, like, okay, be uncomfortable until it feels comfortable, or try to create from that place of being uncomfortable. And did a lot of things that were uncomfortable last year and that were new for me. But I remember, as I walked and started this new process of, let's just say, YouTube, because it's easiest to say, I created the worst route. What's the worst thing that could happen first? But I never got to the end of the journey. I never said, to myself, just in my vision, I never, I don't know what to really say. I guess a big thing is 100,000 subscribers. And, I see people like holding up their plaque and doing that. I don't really aspire to do that. And here's what I'm going to explore it. Do I aspire not to do that because I like the journey of getting there? Or what harm is it in believing for something like 100 subscribers? What's the harm? And I'm just going to explore that. I'm not saying that's what I'm going to do, what I'm thinking about all the time. It's just something I'm going to explore. I'm exploring these new things in my life, and to see, where it takes me. I'm crossing my arms the other way to see, it does feel uncomfortable for me to say, yeah, I'm focused on 100,000 subscribers. And I'm like, my mind is saying like, who cares? You know, like you have people that watch your videos, and Jade has mentioned one time, you know, you have 20 people to watch your video. You would love to have 20 people just standing around you, conversating. That's a lot of people. I'm like, that's a good point. That's a very good point, Jade. And I kind of stuck with that. Like, yeah. If 1,000 people are watching, I would love to have 1,000 people to listen to me around. If I had 7 people, that's still a good number of people. I've been, obviously, being a coach, you know, I talk to a lot of kids. You know, I almost definitely here in Arizona over 1,000 at this point. But I don't think about it as how many do I talk to. It's really the journey. The journey is something that I want to switch. I want to switch it into learning how to live on the top of the mountain. I've never done that. I've never sat and tried to see what it's like to be at the end of a manifestation, especially a mental manifestation. And even in life, I don't sit long enough to enjoy those moments that I should appreciate. And I've learned that over this past 2022. So that's my new process. And I'm gonna love unpacking this, because I know a lot of videos going to come from it, because it's going to make me extremely uncomfortable, and uncomfortable is exactly where I want to be to grow. So I'm used to being uncomfortable, so it's going to be even more uncomfortable to sit on top of the mountain and look down and appreciate how far I've came. So until next time, YouTube, thank you. Peace. Hey folks, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh yeah, hit that bell, you know, so you can know more about Swift Sundays.